A man was found laying in a field, bloodied and beaten, but not by robbers, but by a different type of criminal.
St. Louis County Police responded to a 911 call about a man out here, finding him not only bloody, but with a broken jaw that made it hard for him to say what happened when this officer asked him who did this to him.
Do you know what department?
Yep, Norwood, yep, the white cop.
July 4th, just before 9 p.m., a woman driving by here happened to see a man lying out in this open field, apparently hurt. She saw police officers around him from a department several towns over. That caught her attention. She saw those officers rush off, leaving the man here who said he'd been assaulted.
Watching this is insanely, ridiculous. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, and we've reached the pinnacle of the chaotic policing in this country, it just finds a way to get worse. I don't know how, but it does.
Officers made contact with an adult male suffering from apparent bodily injuries who was conscious and alert and informed officers he had been assaulted. The investigation is ongoing. Northwoods PD is the department accused in the Facebook post of leaving the man. Police Chief Dennis Sharif confirmed an outside investigation. And St. Louis County has been in touch with your department?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Okay.
Crimes against persons have reached out to us.
Evidence shows how the mystery of a bloody man found in a random field in St. Louis County was solved. Only Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes has the story of that key evidence that came out in court and led to a police officer getting 10 years in prison, right?
A federal judge called what happened in a Kinloch field a tragedy, which led to a police officer going to prison. It began as a mystery that took other police officers to solve. St. Louis County Police responded to a 911 call about a man out here, finding him not only bloody, but with a broken jaw that made it hard for him to say what happened when this officer asked him who did this to him.
Do you know what department?
Yep, Norwood, yep, the white cop.
So just to let you guys know, and I've spoken about this on previous videos, that police departments do and will pick up individuals. A lot of times they're homeless, and they would put those individuals in the back of their car and drive them 2 or 3 cities over to another department's jurisdiction and put them out, just dump them there. This is something that we normally see. This is the same thing. They took this guy, put him in the back of the car. He's thinking he's going to jail for shoplifting, but yet this cop drives him to another city, puts him out, but not just dumps him there. He brutally beats him and leaves him there. So not only is this cop brutally beating up this citizen, he's also trying to set up another department for the crime.
The officer wearing the body cam testified how he had to roll the man over so he wouldn't choke on his own blood.
You're not gonna die, man.
He survived to testify. St. Louis County Police worked with him and a random citizen who happened to be driving by that July 4th night to trace how it began in a jurisdiction 5 miles away. Northwoods police officers admitted encountering the man as a shoplifter. Here's body cam of Officer Samuel Davis cuffing him, but instead of taking him to jail, Davis admitted driving him to Kinloch.
So this is Officer Samuel Davis of the Northwoods Police Department, who turned off his body camera, who drove several cities over, who pepper sprayed or OC sprayed a homeless man who was caught shoplifting, beat him to a bloody pulp, threatened him, told him not to come back. And this entire time when he is not in his zone, when he's not policing, he's not answering calls, no one knows where he is very, very suspicious that he did not have any help. Dispatch didn't know, your zone partners didn't know. I don't know about this department, but our department had GPS trackers. And if we tried to sneak over to the Burger King in the other zone, and it wasn't our lunch break, the sergeant, the lieutenant, everyone knew. They weren't going for it. But you mean to tell me that this guy can drive 3 cities over and no one knew he was missing for all of that time while he's beating a citizen to a bloody pulp? Yeah, it wasn't just him. He's just the only one that got caught.
Now listen to part of an interview Officer Davis did with a St. Louis County detective.
I'll drop somebody off. That's when I do all the gray area stuff.
Davis called it a courtesy ride and denied beating the man. Davis said this about why his body cam was not recording when he left him.
I didn't specifically check my body cam when I got back in my car.
Why didn't he take the shoplifter to jail?
That way we wouldn't have to start a paper trail and document everything.
Davis also told the investigating officer this about the area where he left the shoplifter.
If you take someone to Kinlock and you're dropping them off, it's because you want them to get jumped. And that's your way of doing it without you doing it.
I've said several times on this channel in several videos that I've covered here that police will do things to make you respond in the way so that they can respond to your response, because they're the ones who actually caused you to respond in the manner which you did. And so because of that reason, now they get to jack you up, beat you up, throw handcuffs on you tight, make them tight, throw you in the back of the car, abuse you. Yeah, we know all of this is illegal, but what they're doing is this: giving themselves a way out, because they can always state, well, I only did this because this person responded to me in this way. So there's a subtle, whatever it may be, to make you respond in a certain way. Squeeze your hands while they're inside the handcuff, and if you try and turn, then they take you to the ground aggressively, stating that you were trying to snatch away or run away, you're trying to escape. These are things they do. This guy just admitted this on the camera. He just did it in a different way. He put this guy in the back of a car, drove him over to another jurisdiction, put him out, hoping that someone else would beat him up. You're hoping to have this citizen beat up by someone else. But in this particular case, that's really not what happened. You were really the guy that beat him up, but you just told the other side of how police officers like to operate anyway. So either they're just going to beat you up themselves, like in this case, or they would do something to place you in a situation so you can be beat up or hurt.
Davis never wavered from claims he was innocent, even as he walked off to prison, comparing himself to Jesus, citing a Bible verse from Philippians 2:14 and 2:15, and saying he was prepared to die for citizens of underprivileged communities.
Now, you were in court for all of this?
Most of
it,
the
right?
trial.
Right, and the judge was hardly quiet.
It's sentencing. I've never heard a judge talk as much as he did, and he said he went through every piece of evidence, even after the week-long trial.
And what is this the end of it? Is there any sort of takeaway beyond this sentencing and this evidence you just shared for us?
The judge called this a tragedy all the way around, even calling the victim a menace to society because of repeated shoplifting. And he called out a weakness in the criminal justice system that led to this, and he even said that he understood the officer's frustration, but that the actions were unforgivable.
Wow. Chris, thank you.
Sounds like the judge was actually in favor and in support of what this cop did. But the judge, well, his hands were tied. So, and that's just my opinion, allegedly. So, sounds like the judge's hands were tied here. So he stated that he understood why the officer did this. No, I was a police officer for several years, many years. And yes, there are frustrations on the job, but I can never, ever say I understand why a police officer would brutally beat up anyone and then compare yourself to Jesus as if you're the savior when you're actually the opposite. Maybe Satan. Probably not maybe. In this case, you really were. But this is the type of police that are higher in this country, with that type of mentality, that think that they are the saviors when they're really destroying the community. This is policing here. This cop was sentenced to 10 years in prison. It should have been a lot more than that. Policing in America. This is what we deal with. Make sure you know your rights. Stay safe, protect yourself. With that being said, we the people, you, signing off.